Good evening and welcome to the January 9, 2024 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends and Daily Record newspapers, and distributed to all persons requesting a notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all of the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
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 Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Dreesy?
Present.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here.
Mayor Hurd.
Here. There are no presentations scheduled. At this time, are there reports or comments from any volunteers serving our community? Seeing none. Next item on our agenda is public comments. The public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period for public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anybody wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Come on up. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful. How can I help you?
I'm just concerned about the major flooding that's about to impact our area. Flooding is supposed to crest around 19.5 feet, according to NOAA right now. So I just want to know what we're planning to do to help the community since we just got flooded 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's a great question. We are all very concerned about that. We have been passing out flyers and we're putting a bunch of information out on our website. I don't know, have you filled everything out on the website so this way you get it to your phone? Okay, so that's number one. On the website, there's a place that you can sign up, or you'll see the QR code around. You can just scan it with your phone, fill out all the information, and you can click, say, flooding, I think it's the number 2, and then all of that, any information that gets sent from the township will be in your phone. You know, you'll just click on it, you'll be able to read it. That's the best thing that you can do right now.
Okay. And for like general public who are in the low-lying areas, is there anything they can do to move their cars or move them to like safer areas, like let's say like outside the town square? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The town hall.
Yeah, you can actually
building.
You can move your car here. The funeral home also offered their place, and then there was what other?
Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club.
They've all offered their parking lots, along with Scanlon's on the other end of town.
Yeah. And Adam, do you have anything to add?
Just that locally the Emergency Operations Center has been activated. We've been communicating regularly with the county. The first aid, fire departments are all on board. Police department's ready to go. And we'll have an emergency management conversation at the conclusion of this meeting, and the next one will be about 4 o'clock in the morning to make a determination to get information on the website for the morning commute.
Okay. Thank you.
Just one, can I interrupt? Could you just let me know your name?
Matthew Bedell.
Can you spell your last name?
Bedell.
Bedell. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Seeing none? There being no additional comments, we will continue with the agenda. Next on the agenda is the manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, Mayor. First item on my report, and this was really drafted last Thursday. Recent flood events. We had a major flood event on 17th, 18th, and 19th of December, followed by a moderate event on the 28th. We seem to be in an unfortunate pattern of precipitation that's causing the localized flooding. We are forecasting a major event for this evening. Locally, we're expecting 21 feet, so we're actually anticipating greater than what is shown on the graph. Doesn't take into account snowpack, the gates on the dam, and some of the impacts upstream of the greater snowfall than was originally in our region. So we are ready to go. We've done notifications to the specific neighborhoods, both through the distribution of flyers, reverse 911, text messages, emails, information up on the website. We're hoping it is not the same as it was on the 18th, but we're projecting that it will likely be equal to or slightly more than what happened then. We're currently in the 3 to 4 inch band based upon the 5 o'clock National Weather Service notice of how much rain should accumulate. That plus the 4 inches of snow, which is equal to about 1 inch of rain in our forecast, puts us right at those numbers. Again, credit to the community, credit to the first responders, credit to the staff and everyone involved in the emergency management operations. Everybody has done a fantastic job, knock on wood so far, of weathering the storm, and it takes a lot of patience, and it's been handled very well.
Yeah.
Yes, that is Mr. Cole battling his illness.
Dave, are you still alive, Dave?
I am.
Okay.
Maybe he wants to mute himself.
Quick question, Mr. Brewer. Reverse 911, how do we get on that again?
You sign up on the website.
It's on our website?
Yes.
Okay.
There's the website announcement, and if you go to flood information or emergency management, there are buttons to sign up for it.
Okay.
For that. And we have seen over the last 24, 36 hours an increase of roughly 20% of those individuals who signed up. Dr. Portis, who participated in the emergency management meeting this afternoon, put it out through the school district to alert people to where the information was and to sign up. It's out on the school message boards. He's been a valuable participant in the emergency management response. So it's been good collaboration and cooperation across the board. Next item is we have for the council's consideration via resolution change order number 1 for the Route 23 sewer project. Change order down.
Wow. Does that ever
Likes
happen?
to see change orders down.
Yeah, right.
This is related to the decreased number of trees that needed to be removed, as well as the removal of the connection for Virginia Plaza, which was previously discussed. Total change orders amount of $40,500 reduction. This evening, the council also has for its consideration PFAS remediation project. This is what we're hoping to go out to bid for shortly. The giant Brita filter is my technical description. Mr. Minnick is in the audience and cringing. The DEP, as a result of going through IBank, is requiring the Township of Pequannock install a formal sewer connection, which they've determined requires a complete treatment works application, which is typically something that's the subject of major development. The benefit of going through IBank is an opportunity to have lower interest or no interest on half of our loan, as well as to be eligible for a component of principal forgiveness. Principal forgiveness is a 7-figure dollar. So as much as it is what I'll call an inconvenience to have to do the additional work and have the additional professional services, unfortunately on behalf of our ratepayers, I think the reward outweighs the risk and is worth the investment. But as a result of the greater work, Mr. Mittiga and H2M has submitted an additional professional service, an expansion of the existing professional services agreement in the amount of $15,000, and there's a corresponding resolution, if the council sees fit, to approve that for the submission of the TWA to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Lastly, and we have JR from P&A, we have Mr. Minica from H2M overseeing the Route 23 project, so different than the large water project. This is now the Route 23 sewer project. To discuss later in the agenda a request from P&A regarding a winter shutdown until approximately March 18th. I'll hold off any additional comments until we get to the discussion item, unless the council has any specific questions on that or anything else in my report.
Council, any questions?
No, forgot one. Sorry. This is
How much? I have a question. How much was the reduction in the sewer bid?
$40,500. The contract.
Have we decided if we're going to do anything for that property owner that ran it himself, or we haven't talked about that yet?
The decision that council rendered when this was last discussed was to wait till the project was completed and make a determination on what was recommended at that time.
Okay.
Sorry, forgot. I have 2 item E's, which messed me up, so I apologize for the typo as well as forgetting the last item. At the last council meeting in December, we discussed PD Parks and Recreation fees, and we reviewed the group rates for those camps, both for-profit and not-for-profit. This is a discussion item, but in summary, the proposal is to increase the group user rate from $575 to $625. That's a one-time fee for the season. And then increase the per-child full-day rate of $6.27, and the per child partial day rate from $4 to $5. Lastly, for the not-for-profit groups, there's currently a $288 annual facility fee, an increase of that to $300. But again, that's for discussion, so
There you go.
I can
Any
truncate it at that point unless the council wants to see something different.
Any questions from council?
Nope.
No? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Public hearings, there are no public hearings scheduled. Ordinances for introductions, none of them at this time. Next agenda item is resolution. Mrs. Martin.
Beginning with Resolution R 2024-54, approving change order number 1 for the Route 23 sewer project, decreasing the contract with P&A Contractors of Colonia, New Jersey by $37,500 to a revised contract price of $5,658,740.68. 2024-55, authorizing the amendment of a professional services agreement and contract with H2M Architects Engineers Incorporated for the Wells 1 and 2 PFAS treatment project. 56, authorizing NJDEP treatment works application and statement of consent for the Wells 1 and 2 PFAS treatment project. 2024-57, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. And R 2024-58, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the January 4th, 2024 bill list and 2018 FEMA elevation escrow list.
Excellent. Thank you, Mrs. Marsh. Are there any comments on the resolutions from council? Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2024-54 through 2024-58.
Can I get a second?
A second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dreesy?
Yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Hurd.
Yes. Next on the agenda, items for discussion. We're going to start with the Route 23 sewer project.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just, by way of introducing, as noted in my report, the township received a request from the contractor, Pequannock Construction, to engage in a winter shutdown. If the council sees fit, I've invited JR from, I can never pronounce your last name, so I apologize, from Pequannock Construction, as well as Alec, I'll keep it informal, from H2M as the project engineer. Additionally, I just want to make the council aware that we do have listed on the agenda attorney-client privilege under closed session, so if there are matters that are brought up that the council would like to seek guidance from the attorney related to this request, the council does have the right to go into closed session should it so choose.
Okay.
So if you'd like to hear from the
Thank you, sir.
horse's mouth, I leave that to your responsibility.
Wait.
Come on up. Let's hear what you got.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So just to reiterate what was in my letter to the council and the township, installing sewers at these depths in the winter is not very practical. We're installing dewatering systems to take the water out of the ground so we can work in dry conditions in the hole. And running the system, installing the system, removing the system in the dead of the winter is miserable. And that's putting it lightly. Sunday, we check on the dewatering systems over the weekend to make sure it's working and there's no leaks and the pump didn't shut off. And on Sunday, the snow plows hit our pipes. So we had guys on Sunday putting the pipes back together so that we could work on Monday to get that piece of sewer done by the staging area done before the rain came. So it was all critical to get everything working so that we can get that sewer installed so that we can shut the pumps off tonight so the area can flood and we can have that work done. So it's just a lot of things that can go wrong when you're installing dewatering in the wintertime. Along Route 23 now, once we get out of the backyards of those properties, the dewatering system consists of a 10-inch pipe that runs on the ground. And then from that 10-inch pipe, there's 2-inch pipes that we stick in the ground, and then they vacuum the water out of the ground. It goes to a pump, and then from the pump into the storm sewer system. And that's the layman's terms of how it works. If there's any leaks, it stops working. So we're constantly checking the pipe to make sure there's no leaks. When it's under snow, it's impossible. Like the dewatering that we have in place right now behind 615 is under snow. And we're just crossing our fingers that it's working. We haven't, unless we get guys with shovels to open everything up, which is not cost effective. We don't know.
Now, how deep are you right now, as far as depth that you're trying to dewater?
We're 18 feet deep.
Okay. And is it, I mean, the other option is we could be going into a wet spring. So if water is the issue and we have a wet spring, it's kind of been wet so far, it's been a
Right.
wet winter and not in a snow type of way. You're gonna have the same problems then too. So what's the difference?
We don't have the freezing, because you are dealing with water. We have guys getting wet installing this. You're dealing with freezing, and you have longer days, the days, hours of sunlight, and you're not dealing with snow. For example, when we go to the northbound side of Route 23, we're going to be crossing a lot of driveways. So in the event of a forecasted snowstorm, we would have to remove our dewatering, because we'd have plates over it, but where the driveways are, we dip that pipe into the
Right.
ground, and we put steel plates over the tops of the cars, and the driveways can still be used. If there's snow, I can't take the liability of a snowplow hitting a steel plate, so we have to remove it. And literally shut down the system, wait for the snowfall, turn it back on, and then wait again for it to dewater. So we could literally be ready to put pipe in, we get a snowstorm, we'd have to stop, shut it off, turn it back on, and then wait another week. And this project is very linear, right? So you have to start at the low point and work to the high point. It's the only way to install a sanitary
Right.
sewer. We had that on both sides of the highway. So our intention was to bring 2 pipe crews now onto the job site to work simultaneously. One working on the shallow stuff and one working on the deep stuff. With the bigger equipment and the deeper shoring. You lose that ability to logistically keep 2 crews working if you have to shut the system down. So argumentatively, if I have 1 crew and I shut the system down, I can have them go do other stuff. But with 2 crews, logistically, it's almost impossible to make this happen. Especially in the winter months. It's just,
You know,
But,
Mayor, can I ask a question?
absolutely. Well, Melissa actually started first. Let's,
Okay.
let Melissa.
well, I was just gonna ask some of the same things you did, like, you know, like it seems like we always have the issue with dewatering.